I'm here with my buddy Philip Williams, and I'd like to encourage you to watch the Phil Williams Show, and you can go to patriotinsights.com.
All right. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
It is that time for my response to a tweet. And today's tweet says, Trump will be so good for America, unlike any president ever. He's already breaking records. Trump will be so good for America, unlike any president ever. He's already breaking records. Wow. Interesting. But the records that Trump is breaking, you know, people saying record-breaking crowds. We're listening to Trump trumpet his own worth and importance. And I'm just respond like this. Barack Obama broke records. How is that working for us? Yes, Barack Obama made history. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump were on the verge of making a different kind of history in America. And since we're about to break history, and Trump is breaking records, let's look at the records and the history that they're breaking. The presidential election, or more so the office of the presidency, is traditionally held by people that we tend to think are people of good character, good stature, you know, accomplishments, things of this nature. We tend to think that they're people that are, as they're running, we position them to be people that go in pretty much good. Since we're human beings and we all have issues, we all have problems. When it comes to the issue of the presidency, history has shown that you usually get in trouble while you're in office. Now, if they covered it up real well or whatnot, you usually get in trouble while in office. The presidency is that thing. It's the highest office in the land, and it's that thing that we always use to encourage our children. It was almost like a political Santa Claus. Like, if you do good, Santa Claus will bring you good gifts. And, you know, we used to say, well, if you do good and you do good in school, and, you know, you could be the president of the United States. That's what the presidency has historically been. It's been like that my whole life. As an African American, we were always told, you'll never be able to be the president. These white people will never let you be the president. But then on the other hand, just in case you be a good kid and go to school, do good, because one day you can be the president. And then there were some people in the black community said, you'll never be the president, so don't try. But the office of the presidency has historically been one of those things that you aspire to accomplish, but you're always encouraged to be of good character, to be helpful, to be friendly, to be encompassing of all people's feelings, and be considerate and courteous, because you could be the president of the United States. It was always that kind of tagline. But to prove the fundamental transformation of this country, let's look at the message that we're now sending that's historical. This is beyond hysterical. This is historical. The message to our children now. We can go back to every president that had their issues while they were in office. Ronald Reagan, Iran-Contra. Jimmy Carter, Iran. Bill Clinton, Monica. You know, or Afghanistan, the aspirin factory, or you know, things like that. Barack Obama, while in office. But while they're running for office, if they had issues, it was kind of threw into the "you're a human being" category. Or we didn't know. It was covered up. But now the message we're sending to our children, because of we, for the first time in history, have 2 presidential candidates that's going in openly with lawsuits pending against them from them screwing the very same Americans that we're electing them to lead. Hillary Clinton has blood on her hands. Cover-ups, email deletions, FBI investigations going in. They're not even in office yet before they get these things happening. Donald Trump, almost 200 lawsuits from Americans. He has on record where he has screwed Americans out of billions of dollars in an educational system. And now we're electing him to be the head of the educational system. He's screwed up 5 ways from Sunday going in. And what message is this to our children? Now we can tell our children, you can be a racketeering mobster like a Bugsy Malone or an Al Capone. Is that what we used to tell our children in order to get them to aspire to be the president of the United States? No, we were counting on a president to go after somebody like that. Now we're electing somebody that we need the president to go after, so that we can send a good message to our children. One of the knocks on Bill Clinton was, what message are you sending to our children when you say oral sex is not sex? The president of the United States should not be sending that signal to get our children out there now giving everybody blowjobs and things. Oral sex is not sex. Now as candidates, and we're just showing as Americans, because we're over emotional, ridiculously inconsiderate, and asking to be screwed. This is all we have to offer? What message is this to our children? That you can bully people? Okay, when our children get kicked out of school for bullying, what is it? Because they're name calling. They're calling people names. Mom named them Tina, but your child wants to decide to call them a hippo. And now, what are you going to say to your child that says, well, Mom, shoot, I can cuss people out and I can become the president. I can bully people and become the president. All I got to do is get rich and I can slap anybody I want. And I'll get applauded and I'll draw big crowds. I'll be huge. The message we're sending to our children is that America's best is the one who can dog Americans the best. We had 16 candidates on stage. None of them had the track record like Donald Trump. None of them have a record of screwing people over. One of them had a record of saving over 15,000 children's lives, taking these parents' children who are defected in some kind of way, go into surgery for 30 some odd hours, give their child back to their parents better than they were when they received them, and we let this mobster bully make him an unacceptable American? We allowed this dude to turn this man into a pedophile. What message does that send to our children? Jeb Bush wasn't a criminal. He did great things in Florida. We allowed this dude to come in there and make this about energy? Who can give the most energy? This guy puts energy into screwing Americans. That's the kind of energy, that's all we have to offer? What is Ted Cruz? Marco Rubio, his only knock was some kind of vote on illegal immigration. This guy, Marco Rubio is knocked off for a guy who is using illegal immigrants. This is America now? Ted Cruz is getting knocked because he sounds like a Baptist preacher. We need some Baptist preachers right now. If all we have to get is 2 demons, we let demons replace somebody because he sounds like a Baptist preacher? Come on, people, for God's sake. This man says he's a Christian, but he says 2 Corinthians, and Jesus died on a silly cross. What message does that send to our children? Are we serious? Yeah, this thing is historical. Because we've never had 2 presidents that can be indicted and go to prison on day 1. They usually wait a couple years. Man, I'm Phil Williams. That's my response to a tweet on the Phil Williams Show.